Hi guys, how are you guys? This thing working or not? Oh, there it goes. Now it's gonna work. Get my jacket off. It's getting warm in here now. Yeah, I'll wait to see if it's working or not. Yeah, it must be working. See how everybody's doing today. As now we got three. Uh, Trying to get these settings fixed in here. Hi, Miss Blueman. Hi. There's Edna Price again. Miss Blueman. Yeah, it's working. Boy, I had a hard time getting this thing working tonight. It didn't even want to do nothing. Must be a lot of people on. I want to try to work on dropping link here a little earlier, see if it's going to work. Nope, it don't want to work. There it goes. Yep, it worked just fine. There it is. But no, we got up this morning to rain, storms. Uh, But no, I just thought, well, I'd just come on. Last night I waited and waited, and I seen a few people on, and I said, well, it's too late now, and I just figure I'd just come over, even if I get one, two, three people in here. But no, I just thought I'd come on, because I usually don't draw a very big crowd anyway, just to see how people's days are going. Uh, Probably should go check the back room, but trying to think what I can tell you guys what I done. I had a friend I hauled some hay to today, and it wasn't raining when I hauled hay, but now it's raining. Uh, but no, we can uh, we can find something to talk about. Uh, I just figure I'd come on if you want to jump up here. You ain't been up here or whatever. Maybe you'll learn something like how to be on. You guys can come on somebody else's panel or mine. Just as long as we're showing somebody, how to get on one of these things. Yeah, it got pretty cold here. Uh, Boy, that was some video of Jasper, wasn't it? That guy got in there to feed him the other day, and he just looks at me like, "Come on, buddy, we'll fight." That Jasper, boy, he's just ornery. When Edna sits down and she's not paying attention to him, he'll just grab him a mouth full of hair and just start pulling. But I got me, I don't know if you can see this DR book, and a new one. It's got a lot of nice stuff in it, and they're having a winter sale. And need something for your yard, DR. They make a lot of different equipment that you don't have to. You can you don't have to work as hard. And they go off of payments too. Like they even sell sawmills on there, portable sawmills. They sell all kinds of stuff. Rush hogs. motorized wheelbarrows, uh, fence drills, stuff to clean up your yard, pick up your leaves so you don't have to do it. But no, if anybody wants to come up here, I'm in the back room right now. Uh, if somebody wanted to come up, it's about 50 degrees here. I don't know how cold it is anywhere else. But trying to think what else is going on. I was thinking about doing a video at the equipment place. They had a lot of nice old tractors when I went by there today. I said I should stop there and ask to do a video there. A lot of nice old farm tractors there. Let's see, Russia and UK, it's not helping none. I see it's still stirring up the way they talk. I just wonder if everybody's ready. There's Miss Blue Moon. Well, it looks like it's going to work fine. You there, Miss
That's
Blue
what's
Moon?
frustrating. Yeah.
You there, Miss
Hey,
Blue Moon?
Trustee, can you hear Larry?
Yeah.
You got your ear on?
Yeah, I got my ears on.
Okay, Chuck C's in the chat.
I thought that was Chuck C.
Yeah, he's like, hey Chuck, hit the link.
But no, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I don't see too much of it.
Okay, look here, Larry. You're in trouble already, and the show barely started.
Okay.
Okay, number one, fix your hair. Number two, you need to fix Edna's wrench. First your blocker, now you're taking a wrench.
Hey, I'm getting good about that. But I think what we should do is maybe we should thank the good Lord. That's what I think we should do. We should thank Him right now. Maybe you ain't said nothing to Him all day, and I think we should thank Him. And maybe that's what I'll do right now.
I think it would be a good idea. You go ahead, Larry.
Lord, thank you for giving us another day. We get up every morning, do the best we can, and thank you for the dinner, you gave us. Thank you for this show. I mean, letting it work and letting Miss Blue Moon get on here and just keep on helping Helen and RH and them and anybody else that needs help. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen, Larry. That was very nice. Thank you very much for opening the show like that. That's nice.
Yeah, I just think we should give him some thanks. Everybody don't ain't a Bible pusher or nothing, but we can't really judge them. They'll go to the Bible when it's ready or time, or at least wake up and thank Him for another day and the stuff that He provides for us.
Amen.
Even if it does put us in a bad mood, we should thank Him.
Yeah, you got to find the highlights of everything. Even in a bad situation, you find the highlights.
Yeah. I see RH is in here. That's good.
Hey, RH, good to see you. Is Chuck C in the back room?
I don't see nobody. Yeah, I don't see anybody.
Chuck C, you and RH hit that link. Please.
But no, it's just hard to tell. There's just so much going on. I think we should at least, we watch that stuff all day. We should just come on here and have a conversation. What's going on around you, or if you're doing good or not. A lot of people. I see. There's Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany. Okay, Larry, look, let's start with this. Did you see that Elon Musk is coming out with his brain chip next month?
No, I didn't see that. I don't want one.
I don't either.
Yeah,
And there
yeah.
was a guy that went and got the chip put in the back of his hand. That way he didn't have to carry his wallet. Hi, Lily.
Yeah, I think I'll pass on that. I don't want any of those. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm gonna pass a bit of it.
I think I'll put my faith in God. I don't want any of their stuff really.
That's
And
exactly right, Chuck. Chuck said, thank God for the knowledge to find choices to make choices and do better every day.
yeah, I can agree with that. And that's the point that I was saying. When you get out of bed, you should at least thank him. And Chuck's thinking the right way. We got to give him thanks.
Okay, look, we're getting a crowd in the chat. What y'all need to do is scroll up and hit that link.
Oh, okay. Here's Chuck. Hi, Chuck.
It ain't me. I'm just pretending.
Oh, that's okay.
Hey,
That's cool. Hi.
Chuck.
Yeah, Bonnie told me one day, she goes, come on up here for a minute. I got up there and said, okay, I'm up here. And I jumped back down and she made her laugh for 5 minutes over that.
Well, that's the way I used to be.
What are y'all doing?
Oh, we just thought, there's enough stuff going on. And if we can just have conversation, about the temperature, the weather, just a little bit of everything. Whatever you want to talk about, Just, I guess we just have to keep our clothes on.
Yeah.
Because it seems like everybody is yelling about it on their shows. And RH had a rough time. And heck, I just think that's stupid that someone done that.
What
But we
happened?
got to.
I seen last night he's telling them to nicely greet him out the door. And
Yeah, if you gotta greet them out, let them go out. Here he is. There's Artie. If they let him in.
hey, Watt. Hey, Lee. Hey, Edna. Travis,
There he
you're out.
comes.
What do you say, RH?
Hey Larry, hey Chuck, hey Miss Blue Moon. Good to see everybody here and everyone in chat. It's good to be alive. Great to be alive here, and yeah, we have problems. We have problems that we call minor, but we get through it. We get through it, especially with support from everybody in the community. So
Yeah.
One thing about it,
I
good Lord gives you the knowledge to do something about it, do what you can.
I shared a piece of that wall, the Berlin Wall, when it came down. It was dated
Yeah.
November 1989. That for military veterans that served overseas and were part of the getting that wall taken down during the Cold War, when the Cold War was ending towards the end, and all the being behind, being just part of, like President Reagan as our commander in chief, when they made all those nuclear non-proliferation treaties and peace deals, including removing all the nuclear weapons out of Ukraine and anything that's like chemical, biological, or nuclear out of Ukraine, based on those agreements, those peace treaties, and nuclear non-proliferation treaties. It's really sad to see that great accomplishment, being part of that great accomplishment, physically, to see all that just being flushed down the toilet in a matter of 2 years.
Yeah. I watched that
Yep.
Russell J. Gould thing they had out night before last. They were talking about. I used to watch him. I get lost in his context sometimes, but he was talking about all the stuff that's going on over there and all this stuff being illegal with Congress and Senate and then sending stuff here and there and the stuff that they're doing to Putin. He said all that's beyond contract and it's all illegal.
Okay, guys. I'm
Yeah,
gonna step down, Larry. That way you have more room on panel. I'm going back out. Good talking to all
Well,
you guys.
See
all right,
you,
Miss
man.
Blue Moon. Good to see you. I don't
Good to
want to
see
mean
you
start it
guys.
off kind of like negative or but
No, you
we know
guys.
God
No,
we know God has it,
Yeah.
under control.
that's
So
absolutely right. Absolutely right. All right, you guys are doing fine. I'm just gonna go back down to chat. You guys got it.
If I'm crowding, I'll get out of the way, Miz.
no, you're fine, Chuck.
Yeah.
No, you're good, Chuck. RH, how's Helen doing?
oh, she's doing better. Like she has stigmatism, like she can't stay in chat too long because she gets headaches or whatever and has problems with her eyesight, but she's doing fine.
What about your friend after he got beat up?
Oh, Ted, like I
Yeah.
said before, it's going to be a slow recovery process because of his age and he has diabetes. He has some spots on his skin they might need require skin grafts. So, but he's doing good. I talked to him yesterday, and I talked to him the day before yesterday. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him tonight, but they're pretty. They go to bed pretty early and rise up.
Yeah. Did they ever catch the criminal?
Oh yes, they did. Uh, I was improperly calling him an assailant because I was thinking of assault, right? But that's not the correct term. Uh, Actually, it was Ted's son that basically tackled the kid and held him until the sheriff deputies arrived. So, based on his age, he's already out on the street. He's already
Huh.
back out on the street.
What, he just jumping for nothing or?
No, he was so he was so he's doped up on meth or fentanyl or something, and he went into Ted's home and actually went into his son's bathroom, grabbed his son's toothbrush and started brushing his teeth. And the chihuahuas are going crazy. Woke Ted up. Ted went and confronted him first. Basically, the kid was saying, "Get out of my home." The kid was so lit that he didn't even know he realized he was in somebody else's home.
Huh.
So he started beating on him, and the kid's strength was like crazy strong because he's either had a lot of THC in his blood, he's drunk, and or had meth or something. That I mean, Ted's a like 6'2", like 280-pound man. Even though he's old, his son is over 250 pounds, about 6 foot tall, and he grabbed him, and that kid was throwing around his dad like a paper doll, rag doll. It's unbelievable, you know. So it's
You know,
gonna
I,
be. Go ahead.
I've watched them, on different places when they're on that. I seen them. They call them zombie people, but I seen them on YouTube and TV where they would be just taking off running and jumping right through a car's windshield and then pull themselves back out and do it again. I mean,
Yeah,
when they're on that,
running, attacking people and fighting them, and
yeah. But they're like in you can't stop them. And that's like, we got a neighbor down the road. It turned him into a zombie. And, well, the cops caught up with him, and had all his clothes off. And then he freaking, had a big spear he was planning on shooting the sheriff with, and the sheriff had to shoot him, but and now it's a big mess. When our kids gets on that stuff, it's hard to clean it out of their system.
I'm sorry to be that way. Somebody breaks in my house, so they won't do it but once.
They'll do it once. That's what I'm
Well,
thinking too.
even Ted's son said he's glad he didn't shoot him because of his age, Uh, but they're going to have to sue their parents for the medical bills and loss of income for being out of work. Ted's son is, because Ted's son was minor. He had a minor injury, but still, he had to be by his dad's side. That happened Saturday morning, and he was, had to go to the hospital. When his dad was in the kind of like the emergency care, getting sewed up and everything, X-rayed and all that stuff. It was a pretty rough go there at the beginning, but thank God for all the prayers that we got, and I really believe 100% the prayers helped.
RH, and it's just like the show we had the other night. That was a really good show. That's the way I like seeing shows go, just real smooth. If you don't agree, just leave. And you and Don, I know you guys might not agree with me, but I mean, there was, you told something, he told something, and we just let it go. And that's what I think we need to do. I see Chuck doing it at a lot of places, goes to Bonnie's and different places. You don't have all that. Whatever somebody tells you, just go with it. If you don't believe it, go look it up. I mean, I thought that was a good show.
Yeah, I'll talk with him about it. We can even hammer back and forth some of it when it gets to cussing and talking down and no, that ain't gonna cut it. Put him out.
Yeah, it's good to see the search for truth. I got your share, and I reviewed the share, and right now it's kind of ties in with the warning that Russia gave about the dirty bomb to our
Yeah.
to the White House, and basically through that communication line that set up, we used to call the red phone. So, but the Pentagon spokesperson claimed that wasn't that was a fraudulent statement that Russia made. But I don't. There's no reason for me to believe that they would have to put out a fraudulent statement like that, because Russia's their own nuclear superpower. They would have no need to use a dirty bomb in Ukraine, one way or the other. So it doesn't make sense. And like I tried to explain the other night, Russia has its own intelligence sources. They have which is human intelligence operatives on the ground all over Europe. They've been there for decades. So they get information that the United States doesn't have, right? So I think to make that statement that quick, for our Pentagon spokesperson to make that mistake, that statement that quick was, in my opinion, irresponsible. Now, of course,
Putin is no BS too, and he wouldn't start a FF false fake standard. I'll put it that way, so I don't cause no issue. He just tell him, you jack with me, I'm gonna pop you. He ain't gonna. Oh, they're doing this, and he ain't. He's too. Yeah, it's direct. He ain't gonna play around to have to create something out of nothing.
Well, I do believe that he said that if there's any type of nuclear strike, they will take the appropriate measures, and they'll be either equivalent or greater than what the attack they received. So, I try not to put out information that people panic. I have 100% faith in God, trust in God. In God we trust. That's our national motto. you know? I
Yeah.
mean, and I know there's some people that tried to change it. Basically, e pluribus union that Obama said was the actually national motto. No, that's not our national motto.
What I don't
In
like
God
about
we
that
trust
wrapped
is
around
our
that
national
all-seeing
motto.
eye. That's the only thing bad on our money, having it wrapped around all that symbology.
Yeah. Well, they can easily reprint the bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh, Whenever they take off the, when they take out the old bills out of circulation, they put, the watermarks or whatever they put in there, the metal strips to keep from being too easy
Mhm.
to make. What do you call that?
yeah.
Counter.
Counterfeit bills. But yeah, they can they should. And I don't like the dollar bill symbol because it's the serpent on the tree, in my opinion. You
Yep.
see how they did it over multiple years. The U.S. dollar symbol used to be the bank bags, the U.S. bank bags that had U and then the S, kind of like that was written kind of like partially through the U, where there was two lines, right? Not just one line. And you notice how they changed it. They they changed it little bit by little bit over all those years, and I think the dollar symbol is should be should be changed. That's my opinion.
Same kind of symbology with the serpent you're talking about. You remember on the doctor signs and all that used to have that snake. That's demonology too.
Have you ever seen the Iraqi dinar currency?
No.
I have, but don't remember them anymore.
Yeah, they have a serpent, and there was a big push. I think Clinton was behind that, trying to amp up the what do you call it? The what do you call it? The value of the Iraqi dinar, and they were really hyping up the Iraqi dinar. And a lot of people were trading Iraqi dinars in the United States based on their own kind of like valuation. So there was a big scam going on in the United States about it was over 10 years. It's about 10 years ago or longer. Anyways, there's the stupid bots.
Yep. I went
Well,
to
you'll
go.
have that.
I can't hit it. I went to go do it.
But no, and I don't know if you know it, RH. They separated our internet. Russia's not up there with us on the same thing in the sky anymore.
Just like
I think
China.
they separated about maybe 5 years ago. What I understood, they got their own thing.
China don't want to be corrupted with our stuff over here either.
Didn't they separate their own? They're on their own thing too now.
Yeah, China's just to themselves. I think Russia's with part of Europe, but it's not connected to the United States.
Yeah, I think they unhooked that. It, it's just hard to tell what's going on.
We thought in 2015 that, especially right after the coup where Obama brokered the deal to overthrow that president in Ukraine, we thought in 2015 that they were gonna, or 16, that they were gonna start kinetic war directly between the United States and Russia to postpone what was coming up in 2016. Y'all remember what came up in 2016, right?
I'm trying
Possibly.
to.
HRC and
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't know the
yeah,
name of it.
yeah, HRC and Donald Trump.
Yeah,
That
if you
thing
want to
occurs
think
every
back,
four. Yeah, that occurs every 4 years.
here's a little trivia for everybody if they want to look back to the 99, one of the statements Bill Clinton made that he'd be the last president, and that was basically referring to the fact that the corporation of the U.S. was going bankrupt and he'd be the last legitimate I don't know if you remember that or not.
No, I don't.
Do a
Uh,
little, if y'all feel like it, do a little homework and do a Google search or something later. Might have to go other than Google about Clinton's statement, but being the last president.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't.
never heard. But
To me,
no,
I've watched the briefings at the Clinton Global Initiative, and I've seen their guest speakers like former president of Iraq. No, Egypt. Egypt. I've seen them when they were speaking, and I don't think he was. I don't know. I really don't know if he was selected or not. To be honest with you, but it would make sense because how Poppy Bush was connected with the
Yep.
Clintons, and you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. We're talking about three-letter agency type thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's amazing that how many U.S. citizens don't even know that Poppy Bush was the former director of the CIA.
Yep. He was within 20 feet of Kennedy when he got popped in '63. There's pictures of him standing off to the side when he shows him, but right there close by him when he got shot.
yeah, I seen that. I seen the pictures. I seen they did a documentary even, I think.
I need to start me on some account somewhere where I can show a lot of that. I had a lot of videos on a lot of stuff. Every time I get a update in Windows, I end up losing a lot of my stuff that I need to get a separate hard drive to keep stuff on because I think a lot of the updates we get, they're going through our files.
Well, that's like I was over on Z-Man's and they was talking about it. You know, how are they keeping track of chat and what they're saying on the panel? But after you get done with these shows, you go to the uh, YouTube office and you start looking. They are keeping track of how many times someone chat or what words. Even shows it in there. I just thought that was pretty weird.
Yeah, you can add stuff in there where it'll edit out words or won't allow words. It's a algorithm, but it's all probably semi AI.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes whenever you're buffering or whatever, that if you go back and review, I'll go back and review a lot of the shows that I'm part of because I want to see how good my communication skills are and see if I made any mistakes. I have to go out and make a correction. And some of the words I say, you can tell they snuff off part of the syllables, right? Where it sounds like a totally different word.
Yep, and then you'll hit a buffer thing, and I think what they're doing then, they're probably bombarding you backwards through YouTube that makes you buffer out, lag out, kind of like what they used to call that when they bomb you through text.
Yeah,
Yeah, y'all know whenever we're being attacked that YouTube takes out the words that they use in the transcript.
well, and that's like I've seen it with Travis's. I've seen it with Rhinos. I even seen it at Chuck's. Sometimes when I go back and look at your guys' show, you can see part of it and it's just scrambled. And then next, change everything, go back, and you might be able to see half of it. And then when it gets to the end, it just shuffles.
Hey, you guys have probably seen in my show, you probably heard me too, and I'll talk about I'm losing strength on here like I'm on a cell phone, and I'm on the level of high speed internet that's right below. If I went to fiber optic, I'm not because my son homeschooled and I wanted to have best internet because we watch TV through it. Everybody gets on the internet here, so our entertainment's internet. So we don't pay for cable and all that. I have an app that I use on my Fire Stick to get cable stuff, but everything we do is over the internet. So
Yeah, fiber
and
optics, to my knowledge, is still the fastest speed internet. available, correct?
The option to get it. They got a stub out in my front yard, and they told me they could hook it up over here, but it'd be 500 up and 500 down. But I talked to a few people, and I'm right now getting 1,000 down and 100 up is what I'm paying for. And I have a lot of people telling me that 500 up and down on fiber would be far better. I wouldn't notice the 1,000 because it's probably better. He said even than the 1,000 down because that little phone wire or cable wire thing is not as reliable as fiber.
Is it better than Starlink?
Yeah, Starlink's that you're going to a satellite. You got so many places that it's changing from a signal to the wired, and then it goes through something, and it's just you lose a lot too.
I know we just got that put in over close to our towns and stuff. And I think there's one place that's about 15 miles, and that one's like 30. But I see they're starting to put Skylink in. I was just wondering, what everybody tells me it's the fastest.
If it's anything to do with satellite, but if it's Starlink Direct, I'm not real sure. But fiber is supposed to be the best, and then it's what there's even a better level of fiber, but that's getting into business style and government stuff, and that stuff's $10,000 a month.
Yeah. I know when Edna called and checked on that Skylink, it was $600 down for the equipment, and then 105 a month. It's like that's
Yeah,
a little bit pricey.
yeah. Look at what it
That's above
upload.
my pay grade for sure.
Look at your upload and download. I pay 129 for here, but I didn't have to buy the equipment. But mine's, like I said, my son's homeschool, so I have to make sure we got good internet.
Yeah, and I think people when they went to that home school, I think that's the best thing we could have done. You know, get our children away from a lot of that.
Yeah,
There's just too much going on.
it messes up him socially, but I didn't want him involved in all this goofy stuff and mask stuff. And
I have a lot of respect for parents that do homeschooling because I have a lot
It's
of
a lot of
respect
work.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
it
With
was
all this
until
COVID stuff going on, did they issue laptops from the school? I mean, the schools, did they issue laptops to their
he
students?
can get it, but here in Texas, it's called Texas Connections. They told me that in other states now, like I'm not sure if it's Florida, but like you look at Florida Connection or Alabama Connections or whatever. But the name of it here in Texas is Texas Connections, and they have live lessons with the teacher online. In junior high, I'd help him do a lot, but now he's in high school. It's all between him and them and all of his stuff, courses. He does all of his tests online, any projects, all the stuff is done online. All I'm supposed to do is make sure he keeps up with stuff anymore, which is fairly good. And now he's getting lazy because it's all on him. And 6 hours a day I have to record for his time. He gets so many subjects he has to get done a day, and they give him a leeway of time to make it up. So I let him slide. It used
I
to be a lot
know
better.
I know we did that. You know, our two oldest kids is they're already grown, but and then we got two that we adopted, and you know they had to do that, and they supplied the little computer and stuff, and I always thought that was pretty good. But I don't know if I think they gave them all one this year too. You know, I think they're going to start doing that. They're just going to push away from the books and let them do it all over the computer.
Yeah, once he got out of middle school, they stopped it. They were sending books and paperwork and workbooks, and now he's in high school. He got his own computer. He bought a year or so ago when my mom died. He got a little bit of money, and he went got him his own computer he wanted, and he told them he didn't want their laptop. That way, he ain't responsible for it.
Yeah, Well, we had to pay, I think it was like $50 or $60 for the year. Because if something happens to it, it was like $800. And I was like, well, I think I'll pay the 60.
Yeah. Did that, and then they also, I don't know if they're still doing. I need to check my cable bill. They were supposed to be paying a percentage of it. He gets like a grant for the internet since I'm on disability and the homeschool, and he gets a grant towards his internet for school.
Well, that works out good.
It's only like $40, $50 or something like that a month, but it's basically, I guess, to pay for just standard high speed internet. But I need to look at. Might be why the bill went up. It probably is.
Uh, I was going to say something. Now I lost my thought.
What is he? He's 10th grade now, isn't he?
What?
Andrew's 10th grade, isn't he? Yeah.
What?
Andrew's 10th grade now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is second year of high school. They would
But you
send
know,
bukus of
I
books
think,
and supplies and all that, and I'm glad he got away from that.
but you know, at least you're seeing, when they're at home like that, what they're working on. Normally they would just give them papers and say, and then you would take it home and then you answer it, and then they they'll say, "Where'd you get come up with that idea?" Well, that's what my parents told me. And then it, they erased history, and they don't want them to see what really happened.
Yeah,
I've had a teacher
tell you what his
argue.
is all these kids running around talking about pronouns and all this, that, and the other, and he just tells them all they're confused and stupid. That tells you what point of view he has.
But at least you can look at it and say, no, that didn't happen there. You can try to put them on the right track. Go look up here.
Your child listens to Johnny Cash.
Yeah, he likes Johnny Cash. My wife says he got an old soul, and he tells all these kids there's a male and a female, and like basically, and that's all there is to it. He goes, he even told me, he said, don't matter if you cut it off or have one sewed on, you are what you were born with.
Yep. But
And he'd been like that. Hell, in 2016, he was what, 10, and he was saying who he was like. I'd have voted for T if I was old enough to vote.
but he's probably a straight shooter. you know, he don't beat around the bush. If you do something, he just comes out and tells you.
Yep,
Yep.
he'll argue with me, and then like, boy, he stands his ground, which is a good thing. I just don't like it when he does with me and his mama.
Yeah. But I just think we have one of those. Both of my kids, I mean, they got their own ways, and the oldest ones, and I mean, they're the same way. If my daughter, she's that way. You tell her something like that, and they try to boss her. She just goes and does the opposite.
Yep.
I guess we always got one of those kind of kids. Just let them learn on their mistakes. And
Got money, or you want me to go get money out to get
so, anything else going on, RH? I see you changed your little thing. You got rid of your flag.
Oh yeah, I just put that up there for we're talking about what's going on in Europe, remember?
Yeah.
No, I'll
Yeah.
tell you that was some good times. I mean, Europe was kind of much a different place when I first was stationed over there. It was 81 to 83, and then I came back again in 87, and I stayed till 2000. So I have, let's see, do the math. What is that? 15 years service in overseas. One of them was a short tour. The rest of them were long tours. And before they went to the Euro, and a lot of these European countries, they lost their independence, their sovereignty by going to the Euro. Joining the European Union and giving up their currency. It was kind of sad because I really enjoyed going to all these different like European countries, and each one had their own particular customs and culture. And when they went to the European Union, joined the European Union, it took away from all the distinct cultural differences. And I mean, it's like, I like to do like beer tasting. I was more of a beer connoisseur, I guess, than wine.
Give me a
But
taste
anyway,
of that.
yeah, I remember Tuborg Gold. Oh my God, it was a Danish crown beer, and it is probably one of the best beers I ever tasted in my life. And that went to the wayside. I think Turkeys took over the Tuborg Gold. It used to be Carlsberg. I don't know if y'all ever drink Carlsberg pills.
No, I don't know.
But anyways, that's
don't
just
know what
one
like-
of, yeah, it's just one of the cultural differences, plus you have, of course, the dress like you have Oktoberfest and Germany, and all these really neat festivals they put on over there. I really enjoyed myself, and then I saw a change. And even though we didn't implement like the Amero or the what do you call that? The Amero Union, kind of like what the EU did. I see a lot of our cultures disappearing. Our U.S. culture from like even the South, and a lot of things that we used to do in the South, and it's been corporatized, or how do you say that? The corporations took over. The global international corporations took over, and basically they started to force the mom and pop stores out of business. And we saw that happening in 2020 really hard, where the small businesses and middle income class businesses,
Not the same.
they couldn't survive. Think about all those businesses and jobs lost.
Hey, y'all, I got to run to the store. I'm going to drop off here. I might come back, get back in time. Good talking with you guys.
Yeah. Hey, Chuck, you're welcome anytime. Do you or RH do any, prepping, with the pump drill? Have you guys ever messed with them?
With the
Like
what?
pump with the pump drills and the bow drills and starting with hand. But I think it'd be neat if we, get one of these shows, where we can see if we can have one on each show and then come in and show us try to build a fire. I think that would be pretty neat,
Talking about build like a pump for a shallow well?
Yeah, you just do a pump and you just do a stick and then put a round bottom on it and slide it up, but drill a hole in it and slide it up, make a pump drill. But
Yeah.
I think that would be neat, maybe RH or you or me get on here and we got our thing on showing us pumping and, see who gets it, fire built, see if we can teach each other something, I think that would be neat to do a show.
I think I'd cheat. I get me a flint, flint
You
rock.
get you a flint. Chuck said he just used his lighter.
Do that where they compress it and start fire. But that's different
Yeah.
things you're out there. So
No, you guys just seem like one of those people that mess with that stuff. I mess with it once in a while, but I was just wondering if any of you guys ever. I know
I never have.
101 prepping and them did.
I've watched people do it. I've never fooled with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
when I was in scouting, they were trying to show us that, and we didn't really. I wish they went further into it, like what you're talking about, like the bow drill and
Yeah,
pump or whatever, but they didn't.
you know,
And as far as
I
the
did.
military survival, because of the weather, like you have a lot of like rainy seasons, whatever, and snow on the ground, and it's hard to get dry kindle, to even
Yeah,
start.
Yeah, everybody
So
keep your dryer lint. That's awesome. I got 3 or 4 containers
you
in
know, I've went
full of
out and done that, and I can do it on almost on everything. That's why I did those videos of it. But I did some videos that show what you need. But it's just interesting because I know I tried to teach my brother after he got out of the military. He's like, man, that's pretty amazing. But you know, I was just wondering if any of you guys done it before.
I haven't tried it. I've watched them do it though. Well, hell, I'll run to the store. I'll try to get back if I can.
Okay, thanks, Chuck.
All right, bye, y'all. Much love,
Yep,
everybody.
yep. Yeah, if anybody else wants to come on, go ahead. But no, all right, it looks like everybody, I think we opened some mods up the other night. I sat there and tried to share, take my time and go to everybody's show the other night. Looks like everybody pulled a nice crowd there last night, even you.
yeah, I had a couple hundred. I came on again later. I don't know if you saw the other one because I was upset because I didn't see the steadfast noon information about the NATO exercise, which encompasses 14 NATO countries conducting nuclear exercises that began on October 17th and end on October 30th. And I don't agree with that whatsoever. And I'm all out there as far as my voice goes to try to instill a ceasefire immediately between Russia and Ukraine. It's no sense in going any further with this
Yeah,
because yeah, go ahead.
I seen a big thing on it this morning, and uh, I seen where they wrote the letter and sent it over there, and uh, it's just hard to tell what's going to happen about the whole situation. But I think it's about at the end right now. In my opinion, I think it's right at the end.
Well, I think this is going along pretty good, even though may have a small
Yeah,
channel here, but we have great conversations, in my opinion.
yeah, and that's what I said. I like when we don't have to agree with each other, but we can listen. But no, and that's what I said the other night. I said things went really well, but we got to give up sometimes, and talk about something else just so people don't get upset, or let them go look a little bit of information up, give them a break. But
Yeah, Don's and Lily J's prayer. I mean, man,
that
that
was
was a
awesome.
perfect touch
Yeah,
ending the show.
yeah. Man, it that prayer was just moving. I'm telling you, I felt it in the air, and it was good. They did a really good job.
You can definitely feel when two or more come together, right? You can
Yeah, I
definitely
can.
feel it. If it's
Yeah,
real, if it's real, you
yep.
feel it.
When you get these rooms full, and you can tell when it goes. You can just feel it move through the whole show. I think, but yeah, if anybody else wants to come up, they're welcome. I just wanted to come on, just talk. You know, I've watched two or three different people before I came on and different things, and I just said, well, we'll just go on there. There's a lot of people on, and it just makes it hard when we got you're gone and there's like 8 or 10 people on because we all can't wait to, you know, till shows are over. It's hard flipping back and forth, but you know, that's where I said we just gotta jump back and forth and support each other, even if we didn't have nothing to talk about.
Yes, tomorrow at 4 p.m. we're going to spin up a show. The title of the show is going to be Talking Music with Ken Carson. So y'all are all welcome to come and check it
Yeah,
out. And it's going to be just me and Ken on the panel, so we can just focus on
that's
music.
fine.
I want him to be able to focus. So, I mean, pretty much um, for at least a large majority of the show just on music, because there's a lot about music that I don't know, you know, and I like to hear it from somebody that's actually a professional musician, you know, that has a
Yeah, but
producer
you
and
know,
everything like that.
music it soothes your soul. You know, yeah, it calms you down. We need music. You know, it's always been a good thing. Music.
Yes. Um, well, other than what, you know, we talked about earlier, I kind of
But,
don't, you know, I kind of run out of words to say, you know, sometimes.
but
So
But you know, it's just like I said about the internet. You know, is that a reason why they cut their internet from ours? You know, so we can't mess with theirs and they can't mess with ours, or you know, why did they cut all these internets from the same one? You know, makes you wonder. Maybe so they can go after each other. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
yeah, well, there's not anybody out there that's going to be able to silence me. I can tell you that right now. I'll say whatever I think I have to get off my chest, and people can handle things differently. That's their own prerogative. We live in the United States of America, right? So
Yeah.
we each have our own gifts. We have our own discernment, and
Well,
sometimes individuals go off of what they hear and they don't have the full story. So,
yeah.
you know, I mean, they can dismiss certain things a lot easier than the rest of us
Yeah.
that are actually living through certain things. You know what I mean? So,
And that's where I was saying we just need to, you know, hear one side, go hear the other side, and then start looking it up. You know, that's the best way to do it.
right. And there's always this thing that a point I like to make is if you hear rumors about a certain individual, it's always important that you go directly to that individual and speak directly to that individual in private, right? To
Yeah.
try to figure out what's going on. I mean, people that do
And I
that are the ones that are really trying to help. You know what I mean? And
and that's where you guys separate your difference, you know, and that's like, you know, you see different people, and then after they have their difference, and then they come together and they start helping each other. You know, that's what I like seeing.
yeah,
Because
if you
you,
have actually wronged somebody, it's your responsibility, or whoever wronged another person, it's their responsibility to try to go make it right, apologize, ask for forgiveness or whatever, make it right. You know what I mean? It's your
yeah,
responsibility. If you don't, you may never ever have that chance again.
yep, you'll
Once
never have that
once
chance,
you
probably.
later on in life and you're looking back over your life, especially when you start getting older, and maybe you didn't have any faith before because you wasn't gifted with like a sign or something happened in your life that you cannot not explain other than there's being a God. right? There's God is out there, right?
Yeah.
And when you come to those terms in your personal life, all these things that you did in your past life when you're what we call born again in the spirit, right? When you're born again, you may have missed an opportunity that you could have set things right. I mean, look at how even families like mothers
Yep.
and dads and their kids like hold these grudges the entire life, and they never see their own parents anymore or their brothers or sisters. Think about it. That will weigh on you unless you don't have a conscience, you know?
Yeah, and I agree. I've seen that lots of times, but that they maybe was helping their parents, or I've seen that, and then all at once they just get mad, and then they never come back, and then all at once their parents get sick, and something happens to them, and then they're like, "Well, I shouldn't have did that." Well, you should have made it better that time. You should have did something about it. You should have went back. But you see it all the time happening that way.
Yeah, and I found out that you can always find find something wrong with another individual and try to keep up your wall with that individual. And a lot of us, including myself at a time when I was younger, I would just look for everything wrong of the individual because I might have not liked the individual personally.
Yeah.
You like it, that for example, the individual has done good. For example, okay, we have that commandment: honor thy mother and thy father that thy days long. Correct. So you're not
Yeah.
honoring your mother and father for sin. You're honoring father and your mother because they first of all they gave birth. They had you. They
Yeah,
gave
they
you
had
this
to.
life, with the spirit of God. Okay, and and I can't even probably the most evil person in the world that had kids. There's probably one thing that you can find good about them, and that kind of like once you come to those terms, maybe you can live with whatever, maybe like horrors that you had to live with in the past. You know what I mean? So you can forgive them. You can forgive them.
Yep.
So I think
But,
a lot of people don't even understand that commandment fully, in my opinion.
and I kind of agree with you on that. The way you're saying it, yeah, I can believe it. I've seen it. I've seen people do that with their parents. Just be so mean, and then something happens to them, and then I've seen it with my own eyes. But
Well, a lot of us have been abused by our parents. I'm not talking about my parents in particular. I love my
yeah,
mom and my dad. My mom's gone, of course, and my dad's still here, getting up there in age. And I'd say one thing about my dad: I love my mom. You know, everyone has their own personality, and I think of all the time that my mom spent with me together alone. Like taking me out to
yeah,
eat or whatever, and how she always fought for us and worked when she was a single parent trying to put food on our plates, whatever, and going through a hard time as a single mom. And I saw what all she did for us, and now I can see it a lot more clear than I did when I was a kid.
and that's the thing. I see that every day. You see these kids is maybe living with their mother, living with their dad. Got 5 or 6 kids. It has to be hard.
Yeah,
Especially when.
my dad, he never ever put a finger on me. Never. I respected my dad so much that I tried my best not to do anything wrong. Not to
Yeah.
say I was a perfect kid, but did he punish me in other ways? Yeah, yes, he did. But I have great respect for my dad because he not one time ever did he put his hand on me. How many sons out there could say the same?
I agree on that. You just see that, and then you see the mother and father always getting divorced because, they treat one kid better than the other, or vice versa. I think treat them all the same. So, anything else going on, RH? You hear any good news?
Other than God is great, God is good.
Yeah, seem like all these rooms and different rooms, you just don't know what you're gonna hear. I know you go a lot of different places. You see probably a lot more than I do.
Well, we know what's going on the southern border, and I think that they're going to have to come terms. And this is kind of important to say again. We know what's coming up next month, and everybody has to take their civic duty and go out there and fill out that pieces of paper, right?
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to do that. But do you think they'll all go early, or do you think they'll go on the day? I kind of think there's nobody will do the early. I think they'll all do it the day that we're supposed to.
Yes. I think they're going to try these shenanigans and do all they can to try to either postpone it or do away with what's coming up. But that's not going to deter me right now. That's just speculation, and I could care one way or the other. My goal is to be there on that day and fill out that piece of paper.
That's the way I look at it too. I'm going to go that day. I ain't, because if you don't go on that day, they'll have a struggle out. If you let them, they'd drag it out for 6 months. I think if we're going to do it, we need to do it that day.
Yes. Well, I'm going to have to take off, Larry. Good to see you here, and good to see Lily J, Edna, Miss Moon, like always. I'd enjoy myself, and there's some things I'm looking at right now. I don't want to kind of like sound the alarms, but no, I got a little bit excited last night. I had a show, and it wasn't that long. I think maybe 30 minutes long. Late or early this morning, that people might want to go in there and look at, and they would understand why I was angry.
Yeah.
This shouldn't even be going on what's going on in Ukraine and Russia right now.
And you said you did it this morning?
Yes, it was early this morning. It was the last live I did.
You didn't let it bother you too much, did you?
Well, I kind of like gave it you a background why it bothered me as much. Now remember, even Jesus got angry at times. Like for example, I use one major example is the turning over the money changer tables and saying, "Don't turn my father's house into a den of thieves." There's times where you have natural anger. There's times that God gets angry.
Yeah.
Okay, so we shouldn't get too caught up in somebody's anger. But like I say, I have professional knowledge of what's going on over there as far as before. They've tried this multiple times. And the beginning during the Cold War, a lot of making Russia the boogeyman, and then sometimes they were, but a lot of times it was to get increased Department of Defense budget, right? So if you don't have a boogeyman or you don't have an adversary, they're less likely they'll reduce your budget. So a lot of that has to do with what they call the military industrial complex, right? So
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. But this fear mongering and trying to put our public into basically panic or hysteria, I don't agree with that at all. And I try to calm it down a little bit with a prayer at the end. But
Yeah. I agree with that. I just think we just need to just calm it down a little bit, and quit trying to put the scare tactic in. I think if you got the Lord behind you, there's no way to even be worried about it. I know I'm
yeah,
not worried about it.
well, I know, and again, there too, we have responsibility as well, as Christians.
Hmm.
So what I'm really angry about, and I admit it, is I haven't seen anybody in the public limelight actually pushing really hard or has the backbone enough to push really hard for a ceasefire, an immediate ceasefire. They act like this is some type of like sporting match or something, or football game or whatever, a hockey match.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. These are things that are real, that are actually happening. And I think they want people terrified.
But I don't think we're all going to get terrified. We've went through, lots of stuff, and I just don't think it's time to
Yeah.
get scared now.
Well, I'm definitely not going to be hiding under my bed or a grammar school
Oh, I
desk.
ain't either. Yeah.
Well, anyway,
But thank you for coming, and when you're on here, it don't take long to get over an hour. It goes pretty fast.
yes, and I don't put out clickbait like that because I have nothing. I'm not monetized. I don't plan on being monetized. This is just my information that I see that I receive spiritual discernment on, and sometimes I'm drawn to say certain things. Now, we each have our own spiritual gifts. We each have our own unique spiritual discernment. Sometimes they don't match exactly the way others match. You know what I mean? So just try to keep that in the back of your mind when some people are talking, especially that people that have actually served over there. So it's like we're talking about Vietnam, and we're talking about, for example, Vietnam veterans and how they feel about certain things. So a lot of times I just shut up and listen for the message instead of judging the messenger. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
You know, if I don't know anything about it, a lot of times I don't even speak on it. But you see some people, they'll just talk about a whole bunch of different things, and it's like I'm gonna go check it out and see if it's true. But
well, good night, Larry. Good night, everybody in chat. It's great being here tonight again, and God bless you all.
okay, thank you. I'll go check that show out.
All right, Larry. Good night.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm gonna turn this camera back on. But No, I think we had pretty good conversation. If anybody else wants to come up, and if Edna or Miss Blue Moon's ready to go, we can go ahead and get off of here. But no, I was looking at this DR book, and boy, they got a lot of different things in it. They got some pretty nice guard buildings in there. But yeah, I was looking at this DR book while we sitting here talking. Yeah, thank you all for coming in. Thank you, Chuck and RH. It always makes the show a little bit better when you got somebody to talk to. But I guess if you don't, you don't. But you know, the other night I could just feel God moving through. We got maybe 100 and some views, or maybe 200 views, and the other day we got 800 views. That's pretty good. You can tell where the Lord works. He's really working in here. But if anybody wants to come up, they're welcome. Unless you guys are ready to go. Oh, last call. Okay. But I'll let y'all go. Thank you for coming, and I'll catch you on the next one.